This live share has been sponsored. It's close to Shidduch for Tzviya Gabriela Basabora, Yocheved Mindel Bas Reza, Leila Nishmas Rivka Maskowski, and Rafu Shalema Rachel Bas Masha and Tovachana Bat Osnat.
Okay, hello everyone. We got 10 days left until Shavuos, so we'll try to learn a little bit about Shavuos and perhaps about last week, about Lag Bomer, which we celebrated last week. Perhaps we'll touch upon that a little bit as well. So we'll start with Mishnah on Rosh Hashanah on Daf Tez Zayin says something very interesting. If I would ask probably most Jews in the world what Shavuos is about, they would say it's about Torah. We receive the Torah, we learn the Torah, and maybe if you learn a little more, you'll say that it's really about a relationship with Hashem that we got at Har Sinai, that Hashem for the first time came down and introduced himself to the Jewish people. But I don't think any of us would guess what the Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah says. So the Mishnah there says that Ba'atzeres nidainem al pera se'ilan. On Shavuos we are judged on the fruits of the tree. And it's a day of judgment, just like Rosh Hashanah is a day of judgment for humans. And we know there are a few times throughout the year that we're judged for various things. On Sukkot for water. On Shavuos, the Mishnah tells us we're judged on fruits of the tree. And it seems very strange. What does that have to do with Torah? What does that have to do with our relationship with Hashem? What does that have to do with Shavuos? So we're going to try to figure this out as we look into Shavuos a little deeper and perhaps uncover a different aspect of Shavuos that we're not as familiar with. So Shavuos is very connected with the concept of time. Now the name Shavuos means weeks. And leading up to Shavuos, what do? We have Sfiras Omer. We count weeks, we count days. We're building up slowly until we get to Shavuos. Now, counting in the Torah always signifies a progression or a process that slowly needs to be developed. We'll start with one day, and then we add another day, and then we slowly add until we build up to a week, and then we have a second week, and we're slowly building up more and more. And indeed, we're taught that the process of Sfiras Omer, it's not just about the counting of the days and the weeks, but it's actually about building oneself up spiritually. We're meant to work on our midos every day. We're meant to work on another aspect of our relationships, whether it's with Hashem, with our fellow man, with ourselves, our chesed, and all the different aspects of our lives that we're supposed to work on in these 49 days. And we know there's the Memches Dvarim Shator Niknas Behem. There are 48 ways to acquire the Torah, which also are different things that we're supposed to work on every day as we build up towards Matan Torah. Now, it would seem like it's a very slow process. Every day, adding on one step, building up step after another. And indeed, in Avodas Hashem, that's really the way most of us, how we usually view Avodas Hashem. Avodas Hashem is a process that one needs to slowly do mitzvos and do more mitzvos and more mitzvos and less averos until we become big tzaddikim, and then we develop ourselves to be even bigger tzaddikim, do more and more mitzvos. And that's what it means to be a Jew, right? You just have to keep on doing the right thing and hopefully less and less, doing the wrong thing less and less until we're perfect, we're all tzaddikim, and everything's beautiful. But really, it's not that simple. We're taught that the Avos, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they changed something in the world. What is that? First, we'll say it, and then we'll explain what it means. What they did is they created in the Jewish people a spiritual reality called Kedushas Yisrael. Now, we may be very familiar with that concept, the holiness, Kedushas Yisrael, the holiness of a Jew. But let's try to understand it in a much deeper way. The way we usually understand Kedushas Yisrael is that the Avos, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were very holy people. They were very connected to Hashem. They always did the right thing. And Hashem promised them, you know what? I'm always going to love your children and your descendants for all of time. The Jewish nation, they're always going to be mine. I'm going to make a covenant with them. I'm going to remain connected with them. And we're very lucky that we happen to be their descendants. And therefore, we have something called Kedushas Yisrael. We're holy people because we're the descendants of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. But it's much deeper than that. Everything in the world has its essence and has its qualities. What do I mean? So let's take a cow, for example. Yes, sitting here on Central Avenue, not far from a restaurant called Gray's. So we're going to talk about cows. You have a cow. Now, the cow can be fat, it can be skinny, it can have black hair, it can have red hair. But what is it? It's a cow. Its essence is that it's a cow. Its qualities are what it looks like: color, hair, size, and so on. Now, how do you know if something is essential, is an essence, or if it's just a quality? There's a very easy way to figure it out. You look at the children, you look at the offspring. What do I mean? So you have someone who's very smart. He or she can have a child who's not so smart. They can have a child who's pretty dumb. You can have a parent who's very tall who has children who are very short. Yes, usually the genes, the genetics of the parent are passed on to the children, but not always. And especially things that are not physical, things like intellect, things like maturity. These are all qualities of a person, and they are not necessarily passed along to the children, right? But the essence of a person is definitely passed along. What do I mean? A cow never gives birth to a dog. Why not? How come if you have a fat cow gives birth to a skinny cow and a red cow that gives birth to a black cow, so what? And a smart person who gives birth to not such smart child and a tall person who gives birth to a short child, so how come you don't have a cow who gives birth to a dog or a human being who gives birth to a cow? Because our essence is a human being. I am a human. And therefore, that essential part of me will always go over to my children. My qualities, how you define me, how tall I am and how smart I am, those are all my qualities. Don't necessarily go to my children. But my essence of what I truly am, that will definitely go along to my children because that's what I am. A cow will always give birth to a cow and will never give birth to a dog because it's essential. What it is it's a cow. Now, being a Jew would seem to be an incredible quality. We're humans, right? We're people. And we have this quality that we're Jewish. And we're very lucky to have that quality, but it would seem to be just a quality. But what the Avos did, what Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov did, is they created a new spiritual reality. They created a reality in that we are essentially something completely different. Our essence, what we truly are, is called Yisrael. Yisrael, by the way, is not just Yaakov. Yisrael was Yaakov's name, but in reality, Yisrael is something that all of the Avos built up towards. And if you look at the word Yisrael, it actually hints at all of the Avos. The letters Yud, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed are the Rashi Tevos of all the Avos. You have Aleph is Avraham, you have Yud for Yitzchak and Yud for Yaakov. You have all the Emos, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah are all also, Shin, Resh, and Lamed are all in the name Yisrael. Because Yisrael is the totality of all of what the Avos and Emos built up to. And what that is that they created a new essential reality. And that is a Jew. A Jew is not a human being who happens to be born to a certain nation, who happens to be born to certain parents. But a Jew is something completely different. A Jew is a spiritual entity that is called Kedushas Yisrael. What does this mean? What is this entity that was created by the Avos that is completely different than anything else that existed in the world until now? And the answer is that Kedushas Yisrael, what a Jew really is in his essence, is something that is not bound by this world. It's not bound by the rules of this world. It's not bound even by free will. What do I mean? As human beings, we have free will. We have morals. We have moral decisions that we make. We could choose to do the right thing. We could choose to do the wrong thing. And as humans, we're the only ones who have that. Animals don't have that ability to make moral decisions, but we do. That's what makes us human. Now, it would seem that as Jews who have the Torah and have to make the right decisions, it would seem that if we mess up, then, it's all over. We're done, right? We have free will. Free will means you have to choose right and not do the wrong thing. And unfortunately, if you choose to do the wrong thing, then you failed as a Jew. What the Avos created was a reality that says that that's not true. The Avos created a reality which says that your essence is not dependent on what you do or your free will decisions or how you act in this world. Those are your qualities. Those say what kind of Jew you are, how much you've tapped into your neshama. That's what it says. But it doesn't define what you are. What you are in your essence is connected to God, always, permanently. What the Gemara says is, Yisrael afal pisha chata Yisrael. A Jew, a Yisrael, even though he has sinned, he is still a Yisrael. Or the Mishnah says, we say this, it's really the end of Sanhedrin, but we say this to introduce every parak of Pirkei Avos, Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelik la'olam haba. Now, the simple meaning is that all Jews have a share in the world to come. But really, it's telling us something much deeper than that. Kol Yisrael, well, let's start with Olam Haba. Olam Haba is not just a place. Olam Haba is a world which is above time. It's beyond time, right? It's not just after this world we go into Olam Haba, which is the next step in a process. No. Olam Haba is the world that is above process. It's above time, right? Time, we said, is the world of process. You have to do the right thing. You have to do mitzvahs and try to avoid averos. It's the world of free will. That's the world that we live in. Olam Hazeh. Olam Haba is the world that is beyond free will. It's the world in which you don't, it doesn't matter what decisions you made. Of course, if as a Jew, we have to make the right decisions. We have to do our best to follow the Torah and to tap into our neshama. But ultimately, when we get to a place called Olam Haba, we are all going to tap into a part of ourselves, which is called the kol of a Jew. Kol means everything, but it also means it's that essential part of what we are that includes within it everything else. It's the essence of our neshama that is really, it's really all we are. It's our kol. It's everything that I am is in that point called Yisrael. Kol Yisrael, the point of every Jew that is called kol, the kol of every Yisrael, yesh lahem chelik olam haba, is always connected to Olam Haba. Let's explain this in a little bit of a different way. In numbers, there's a fascinating thing. We know the number 7 appears very often in Judaism, and seven always represents the world of time. We know the world is created in 7 days. The most basic time measure that the Torah mentions is a week. In 7 days, a week is made up of 7 days, and in 7 days, God created the world. And we have 7 days of Sphira, 7 weeks of each one made up of 7 days, and we make sure to count the weeks and to count the days. So the number 7 symbolizes time. And the number 49, which is just 7 times 7, is also time. Now, the number 8, we know, always represents something that goes above time. For example, Hanukkah. Hanukkah, we had oil, which broke the rules of time. Based on the rules of physics and the rules of time, it should have lasted for only 7 days. And instead, it lasted for more time. Time itself stretched out. And that is why it's 8 days, because 8 is the number that is above time. Time is 7. The world of physics, the world of which is controlled by time, is the number 7. And the number 8 is tapping into something that is beyond the world of time. And like we said, the world of time also means the world of process, the world in which I slowly have to build up, right? You have you go to work and you have a schedule. What am I doing today? At 9 o'clock, I'm doing this. And at 10 o'clock, I'm doing that. And at 11 o'clock, I'm doing that, right? That's an organized person. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have a process to my day. Everything is ordered. That is the process of time, the number 7, which symbolizes time. 8 means something that goes beyond time. It's not a choice that I make. It's not something that I build up towards. I slowly make the right choices. I slowly build myself up to be a tzaddik. That's symbolized by the number 7. The number 7 represents the world of a tzaddik. He slowly builds himself up day by day, schedule, davening, and learning, and always doing the right thing. And that's an amazing way to live, no doubt about it. That's the world of number 7. But the world of number 8 needs jumping outside of time, jumping outside of the rules of physics, jumping out of the rules of free will. See, the rules of free will say if you do the right thing, you've connected to God. If you do the wrong thing, you do averos, you've disconnected yourself from God. But Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelik l'olam haba says that you always have the ability, no matter where you find yourself in time, even if you wake up one day and you find that you have not built yourself up and you have not used your time properly, you have not used every moment and every minute and every day to build yourself up and to slowly make yourself into a bigger tzaddik and to get rid of your bad midos and develop the connection to Hashem, you haven't done that. So in the world of time, in the world of free will, you're completely disconnected. Comes along the Torah and tells us, no. Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelik la'olam haba. You have a part of you that's called Kol, that's your essence, that's called Yisrael, that's completely, permanently attached to God. And this was given to us, this is the gift given to us by the Avos, that our essence is not something that we choose. Our essence, which is connected to Hashem, is not something that we have to build up towards. Building up, doing the right thing, doing mitzvahs, allows us to feel it. But really, it's always there. That's the Kol. Now, like we said, the number 7 represents this world, the world of free will, the world of time, the world of process of building up. And the number 8 represents the world outside of that. And that's why Olam Haba, the next world, like we said, is not just another place, but it's a world that's above time. The word Haba has a gematria of 8. Hey is 5, Beis is 2, Aleph is 1. Haba is Olam Haba, the world of 8. It's the world that exists outside of this world of process. Now, just scientifically, if the next world is a world that exists outside of time, then it means it exists right now as well, because now is merely a function of time, right? Why am I here and not in Olam Haba? Because I'm only here today, and Olam Haba is going to come tomorrow. In the future, when Mashiach comes, when a person passes away, that's when we'll enter Olam Haba. So it's not here right now. That's not true, because Olam Haba exists outside of time. So Olam Haba is here right now. And how do we tap into that? Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek l'olam haba. I have a part of me right now that is called my kol, my essence, my neshama, given to me by Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, which is what I truly am. And that right now is connected to l'olam haba. You know, it's interesting. The Mishnah Diktuk should have said, Kol Yisrael yeh lahem chelek l'olam haba. Every Jew will have in the future a share to olam haba. It's not what it says. It says every Jew yesh lahem chelek. Right now, every single Jew has a part of him that belongs to Olam Haba. Not that will go to Olam Haba, but that right now is connected to Olam Haba always. What's the gematria of the word kol? Chaf and lamed. Chaf is 20, lamed is 30. It's 50. 50, which we said also symbolizes the number that is above time. 7 is time, is process. 49 is 7 times 7, is also its process. The 49 days of Sphira. We have to build ourselves up, make the right decisions, stay away from the wrong things. That's the number 49. The number 50 means going beyond that world. It's not merely the day after 49, but it means it's something that's beyond time. And that's kol. Kol is gematria 50. Kol means we have a part of us that is always permanently connected to God, no matter what choices we have made within the world of time. Okay. Now, in order to understand this on a deeper level, we have to go back a little further. We have to go back all the way to the beginning, to Eitz Hadat, to Gan Eden, with Eitz Hadas and Eitz HaChaim. Now we know there were 2 trees in Gan Eden. There is the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, the tree of knowledge, or the tree of the mixture of good and bad. And there's also the Eitz HaChaim. Now the Eitz Hadas Tov Ra we spend a lot of time learning about, and the Torah spends a lot of time describing it and how Adam shouldn't have eaten from it. But what is not as known is what the Eitz HaChaim is. And the Sfarim teach us that although Hashem explicitly told Adam not to eat from Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, but really before that, Hashem hinted to him that he really wanted him to eat from one of the trees. And if you look at the pasuk says, "And Hashem, Vayom Hashem al Adam mikol eitz hagan achol tochel." From all the trees in the garden you should eat. Umi Eitz Hadas Tov Ra lo tochel, do not eat. So before he even told him not to eat from the tree of Eitz Hadas, he told him something else. He told him, eat mikol eitz hagan achol tochel. Eat from all the trees of the garden. Tell us the Sfarim HaKadoshim that what Hashem was telling him, not explicitly, but Hashem was hinting to him, is that there's a certain tree that is the tree that is the kol Eitz Hagan. It is the kol. It includes all of the other trees, and that is called Eitz HaChaim. The Eitz HaChaim was in the middle. The pasuk says B'tzoch Hagan was in the middle of Gan Eden, and that tree somehow included within it all of the other trees because it was the essence of all the other trees. I'm going to explain in a minute what this means, but first, let's explain what Eitz Hadas Tov Ra is. Eitz Hadas Tov Ra, the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us, is the tree in which when you eat from it, what it does is it sucks you into the world of free will. What happens is you find yourself suddenly torn between Yetzer Hara and Yetzer Tov. Every decision you have to make in life is you have to fight. There's a war going on. It's a tree in which good and bad is mixed together. If you eat from that tree, which Adam unfortunately did, you find yourself in the world of time. You find yourself in the world of process. You find yourself in the world of fighting the Yetzer Hara, trying to work on the Yetzer Tov, but always struggling between these two polar opposites. That's Eitz Hadas Tov Ra. So and of course Hashem told him not to eat from that tree. So what's the Eitz HaChaim? The Eitz HaChaim, had Adam eaten from the Eitz HaChaim, what would have happened is as follows. Let's say, for example, you're hungry right now. Right? So you have a choice. You can decide, it's dinner time. You can decide what you want to eat for dinner right now. You open the fridge and there's many choices in front of you. But let's say you find yourself swimming in the ocean. You find yourself swimming in a pool and you get you get sucked under the water. And you've been holding your breath for a couple of seconds, and you're trying to get up, you're trying to come out for air. And at the last moment, you're finally able to swim to the surface, and you break out and you take a breath. If I ask you, did you decide to come out of the water and to breathe? If you tell me yes, then you don't realize what it means to truly feel alive. Because we don't choose to live. We don't choose to be alive. We choose what we do with our lives. I can choose what I eat. I can choose what I do right now, but I don't choose life itself. And Chazal tells us explicitly, Al korcha atanivra. You don't choose to be created. You don't choose to be alive. And really, you can't even choose to give up your life. Even though it would seem like some people do choose to give up their life, that's only because they never actually tasted life. But no one who has ever tasted life can possibly choose to give that up. And when a person finds himself under the ocean, under a pool, underwater, drowning, he doesn't choose to come out. So at a certain point, something kicks in, instincts kick in, and a person just has to get out of the water and has to breathe, because life itself, which goes beyond your choices, life itself wants to break out. Life itself wants to be felt. You want to feel alive. You need to feel alive, and you can't choose that. You can't choose. At a certain point, you just have to jump out and breathe. And people actually experience this without drowning. All jumping out of planes and roller coasters. Why do we do that? Why do we put ourselves through such extreme activities? The answer is because when we feel ourselves close to death, when we feel ourselves, jumping out of a plane with, for a couple of seconds of free fall, we feel close to death. And then the moment we stop, the moment where we hit the ground and we're alive, we have an incredible adrenaline rush. Or in other words, we feel alive. And when we're just going through life, living our daily lives, we don't feel alive. I don't feel my life. I feel like I'm making choices. I feel like, again, I could choose what to eat for breakfast. I could choose what to eat for lunch. I could choose what to do with my life, how to do my job. I can choose many things. I live in the world of choice, but I don't feel alive. I don't feel my life. And very often it's when we're close to death that we have near-death experiences. That's only after that when we truly feel alive. So sometimes, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, sometimes we put ourselves through crazy situations just in order to feel alive. And that feeling is a really good feeling. Once you're standing on the ground, you feel that adrenaline rush, it's amazing. Had Adam Rishon eaten from Eitz HaChaim, what he would have felt is at that moment, he would have left the world of decisions, of choices, of choosing, should I do a mitzvah, should I not do an avera, should I do this, should I do that? He would have left the world of choices because he would have tapped into life itself. It's called Eitz HaChaim. It's the tree of life. When you eat from this tree, every single moment of your life, you feel yourself attached to the source of all life, which is Hashem himself. You feel God in everything in the world. You feel every moment like you've just jumped out of a plane, and you feel truly alive. The reason why we don't feel alive is because we don't feel connected to Hashem. Hashem is the source of all life. He is the source of all energy. He's the source of all adrenaline rushes in the world. It's merely our attempt to feel life itself. And life itself is the feeling of being connected to Hashem. But in this world, it's so hard to feel that. In this world, the only way to really feel it, big tzaddikim who slowly build themselves up and do mitzvahs and avoid averas again and again and again, they start feeling what it truly means to be alive, to feel connected to spirituality, to feel connected to Hashem. They feel it, and that's amazing. But for many of us who, find ourselves one day halfway through life, 25 years into life, whatever it is, having not made those decisions leading up to this day, we feel, I have no connection to what it means to truly be alive spiritually. I don't know what that means. Yeah, every once in a while I do a mitzvah. I avoid an aveir and I feel good. I feel connected to Hashem. But otherwise, I don't really feel spiritually alive. Had Adam Rishon eaten from the tree, Eitz HaChaim, then that possibility never would have existed. Every single Jew at every moment of his life would feel that every moment I'm being born again. Every moment I feel connected to the source of all life. That's what Olam Haba is. Olam Haba, we're all going to experience this. It's the world which is above time. It's the world which is above process. It's the world which is above our decisions. It's the world in which we feel connected to Chayim. We feel connected to life itself every single moment. We say in Shir Malos, then our mouths will be full of laughter. You know when you laugh? You laugh when everything flips around in one moment. A good joke is a one in which the punchline is least expected. When do you laugh? You laugh when things just completely flip around. You see a guy walking down the street, put together guy, dressed well, slips on a banana peel. He could be your best friend. Everyone bursts out laughing when they see that. Why? Because there's just such a complete turnaround, such a complete contrast between how he was until now and how he is now, that causes laughter. When Mashiach comes, when we enter Olam Haba, what's going to happen is, it's not that we're going to start laughing and then we're going to get used to it, but we will constantly laugh. Because every moment we will be tapping, feel ourselves connected to Hashem, feel ourselves connected to the source of all life, that every single moment we're going to feel as if we're born again, as if we're alive again, and feel that adrenaline rush again and again, on a spiritual level, obviously, not just a physical adrenaline rush. That's what Olam Haba is. Had Adam eaten from Eitz HaChaim, he would have not had to make any decisions like the ones that we have to make today. But instead, unfortunately, he ate from Eitz Hadas Tovara. He entered the world of decision-making. How do I do the right thing? How do I avoid the wrong thing? That's the decision he made, which we suffer from that until today. What did Hashem tell him? Mikol eitz hagan ochel tochal. Hashem is hinting to him, eat from that tree, from the tree of kol, from the tree that is the essence of everything, from the tree that allows you to tap in to the essence of everything, which is Hashem himself, the tree that allows you to tap into the essence of life. Eat from Mikol eitz hagan, eat from the Eitz HaChaim. But unfortunately, he didn't hear that message that Hashem was telling him, and he didn't eat from the tree. The Avos, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, what they did was, they slowly, bit by bit, through making the right choices, through living in the world of free will, they slowly rectified the sin of Adam Rishon. And they slowly peeled away the layers that he had piled upon humanity, until when we reached Yaakov, who earns the title of Yisrael, which, like we said before, is really made up of all the Avos, we reach a point where they created a new spiritual reality called the neshama of a Jew, Kedushas Yisrael, which is completely connected to God, which is connected to the Eitz HaChaim, which is permanently connected to the Eitz HaChaim. And therefore, no matter what decision you make, you can never disconnect from that kol, Yisrael Yeshlem Cheluk Olam, from that essence of your soul. You can't disconnect from that because it's not in the world of choices. They tapped into the world of Eitz HaChaim through their avodas Hashem. And therefore, till today, as their descendants, as their spiritual heirs, we have within us kol Yisrael Yeshlam Chelek Lamav. We have a part of us which is kol, which is the essence of a Jew, which is completely connected to Hashem, and we can never disconnect from that. No matter what choices we make, we always have that ability to feel that connection to Hashem. And even if we don't feel it, it's always there. And when Mashiach comes and Olam Haba, we are going to actually feel it. The Gemara says in Bava Basra, there were three people who tasted Hit'iman HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ein Olam Haba in this world. They tasted Olam Haba in this world. Who are those three people? Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Says the Gemara, how do we know? By each of them it says kol. We say in mention, Ba'kol, Mikol, Kol. By Avraham it says Ba'kol, by Yitzchak it says Mikol, and by Yaakov it says Kol. What that means is that they brought down the world of Kol into this world, the world of 50, the world of Eitz HaChaim, the world that is beyond your decisions, the world which you're connected to Hashem no matter what you do. They brought that down into this world and they give it over to us. Now, it sounds very nice. It sounds like, okay, I'm always connected to Hashem. I always have this kol inside me, this essence. But how do we feel that? And what does that have to do with Shavuos? So as you may guess, Shavuos is the 50th day of Sfirim. And therefore, Shavuos is tapping into Eitz HaChaim. What do I mean? So we started off with the Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah, which says that Shavuos is Rosh Hashanah Li'Ilanos. It actually says, Shavuos nidonim al peiros ha'ilon. We are judged on the fruit of the tree. Tell us the Svarim HaKadoshim that it's not referring only to the physical trees, but it's actually referring to the fruits of the Elon, the ultimate tree, which is the Eitz HaChaim. On Shavuos, we are judged, and on Shavuos, we decide, and we have the ability to make a decision for ourselves. What tree am I going to eat from? Do I want to live in the world of choice, which is also okay? You could decide to live in the world of choice and decide to be a tzaddik, and that's amazing. And that's a good way to live as well, and slowly build yourself up and always do the right thing and never do the wrong thing. That's a great way to live. But what Hashem really wants from us is to tap into Eitz HaChaim, is to leave the world of free will, to leave the world of choices, and to realize that, come to recognition, even for a few moments, that we are connected to Hashem, we are connected to the source of life, no matter what we do. We live outside of the world of rules. We don't live in the world of free will. Really, I don't have a choice to be connected to Hashem. That's who I am. That's my call. It's always in Olam Haba. It's always connected to God. And on Shavuos, we can taste the fruit. What does it mean to taste the fruit of the tree? So, it's an amazing thing in Lashon Kodesh, every word that has two meanings, there's always a connection between those two meanings. So we have a word in Lashon Kodesh, which is tam, which means a reason. And we know we normally don't say reasons for mitzvos, right? We don't say reason. The Torah says a mitzvah. We don't know the reason why we do it. We don't ask. We just do it because Hashem said so. However, that's not what everyone holds. The Gemara says that Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, actually holds Darshina time of the Krah. Very often he will say what the reason behind the mitzvah is and change the rules of the mitzvah based on his reasoning. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, whose yahrzeit we celebrated last week, the Hilula of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, what Reb Shimon Bar Yochai brought to the world is the secrets of the Torah. He brought to the world the word tam, reason, also means flavor. What he brought to the world is the flavor of the Torah. What he brought to the world is the ability to taste this connection to Hashem. Yes, we all have it, but he allows us through learning the deeper parts of the Torah, through learning the parts of the Torah which show us the bigger picture, which enable us to tap into our neshama. The parts of the Torah that don't just talk about how to make the right decisions, how to do this mitzvah, not do that avera. That's the world of Shulchan Aruch, which of course we have to keep, and of course we have to do. And of course that's how a Jew has to start his life, with following halacha and building up slowly. That's the world of details, of choosing, always making the right decisions. That's the world of Eitz Hadas Tov V'Ra. But Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, what he gave us is, he allowed us to taste. He gave us the tam. He gave us not just the reasons for mitzvahs, but also the flavor in mitzvahs. He allows us to taste the depth behind every mitzvah. He did this through the Zohar, through the secrets of the Torah, which you don't have to be a makubal. You can learn Chasidus, which are all based on the Zohar. They're all based on the deeper reasons behind the mitzvahs. They're telling us not reasons on a physical level, but reasons on a spiritual level. They're telling us why our neshama wants to do this mitzvah. And when you learn and when you see the connection between different things in the Torah, you get a taste of what it means to be connected to Hashem. Because you feel your heart just feel you want to do this. It's not just I'm doing this because God said so and I don't know the reason, but you feel that your neshama is attracted now to the Torah, is attracted to the mitzvahs. And we know that the Zohar writes that before Mashiach comes, begin the Asidin Yisrael lemita meilana dechaya. That before Mashiach comes, the Jews are going to taste from the tree of life, from Eitz HaChaim. And says the Zohar, that is this book, the book of the Zohar, the book, the teachings of the secrets of the Torah. That is exactly how we are going to taste in this world, not in Olam Haba. We are going to taste from Eitz HaChaim. We're going to have the ability to taste what it feels like to be completely connected to Hashem, and not just do the mitzvahs because I don't know why Hashem said so and this is what we do, a chok, but to actually feel a flavor in my Yiddishkeit, to feel connected to Ibn Shalom because my heart understands it. My heart has a feeling towards this. That's what Shimon Bar Yochai brought the Jewish people. And that's what we celebrate leading up to Shavuos, leading up to level 50, leading up to the world of Olam Haba. We celebrate Lag BaOmer, we celebrate the gift that Shimon Bar Yochai gave us, the secrets of the Torah, the deeper parts of the Torah, and that's really what Shavuos is. Shavuos is when Nidon al Peiros Ilan. We're judged on the fruits of the tree. The fruits of the tree is the sweet part of the tree. It's the tree of Eitz HaChaim. What do you want your connection to be? You're judged on Shavuos. Do you want your connection to the Torah to be one of Eitz Hadas Tov V'Ra, of learning the details of the Torah, of following the details of the Torah? And again, that's great. Definitely should be something that everyone does. But really what Hashem really wants us to do on Shavuos, on the 50th day, on the day that is above time, is for a few minutes to break out of the world of time. And for a few minutes, when you're learning Shavuos night, it's not about accomplishing, it's not about finishing the Masechta. What it is about, it's about connecting and feeling the depth, feeling the flavor, feeling the sweetness of the Torah. And if you do, some people have a minute of saying Tikkun Leil Shavuos, which is so a pasuk here, a pasuk there, a mishnah here, a mishnah there. The Arizal established saying this Tikkun Leil Shavuos. The Sfardim say it, the Hasidim say it as well. And you definitely don't finish any Masechtas, you don't make any siyumim. But the idea is to jump around, break out of just merely doing things in a process in order, one thing after another. Jump around. Taste a little bit here. Jump around the Eitz HaChaim. Taste the fruit here. Maybe you don't feel like you're on the level to learn something deeper. I'm not holding there. On Shavuos, tap into that. On Shavuos, taste from the Eitz HaChaim. Break out of the world of process. Yeah, you haven't built up to be such a tzaddik yet. You're not there yet. It doesn't matter. On Shavuos, you have the ability to choose to eat from there. And once you do that, there's no doubt that that's going to affect the rest of your year. You're going to feel tapped into the source of all life, to Hashem himself, through studying these limudim, starting from Shavuos for the rest of your life. So we should all be zecha this year to taste from Eitz HaChaim and to remain attached to it and to enter Yimos HaMashiach even before Shavuos comes. Thank you very much.